Hey guys, so we're back with episode 5 of Tacoimposters. Um, yeah. Again, don't really know what to talk about, but we'll figure something out. I was just watching a comedian. It was really great. Gabriel Iglesias. He's talking about how he went to Saudi Arabia. Oh, it's funny as heck. You should just look up Gabriel Iglesias, like on YouTube, Gabriel Iglesias, Saudi Arabia. Oh, it's such a good one. And before that, I was listening to him, and he was talking about India, because he's like, oh, we're going to India. Oh, it's so good. And he's like, oh, but I think India would be like this. And then he's go, oh, it's great. It's great. Comedians are great like that. Because there's two types of comedians. I don't think there's comedians who have like a stick, like a spiel, like a bit. And then there's the comedians who don't have a bit. They just have they just start telling random things about their lives, about stories, about all this stuff, and it's great. Like I saw one comedian. It was what's that guy's name? It was, what's his name? He sounds weird. I saw him with Weird Al. He opened for Weird Al. What's his name? His name is, it's a kind of strange name. Emo Phillips. That's it. Emo Phillips. That's his name. That guy was great. I love him. I love that guy. Such a good comedian. So, but it's the only comedian I've actually ever seen. So, well, no, that's a lie. I saw what's the other guy's name? Leland Clayson came to my youth group once. Great, love that guy. And then I've seen people who try and be comedians, and it's like, oh, go suck a duck. Stop. You're not a comedian. Stop. But you try to be a comedian? Oh, it's dumb, in my opinion. But what are you going to do? Right? So, my friend wanted to be a comedian. He goes up to Leland, he goes, how do you become a comedian? He's like, just start doing acts for, like, everybody everywhere. And someone's going to see you and be like, this is great, we need this guy everywhere. Now. So it's like, well, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I guess that works, but it depends if you're really willing to wait. It's like everything, though. It's like, are you willing to wait literally, like, forever to get anywhere? But I mean, that's the thing. That's for, like, literally everything, though. YouTube channels, or making books, writing books, or making movies, or anything. Like, you're going to start off. It's going to be a long period of time where you do nothing. Like, I think it was Dr. Seuss. So long before he actually got a book published. I think Abraham Lincoln. I think he lost like 7 elections before he won. Something like that. It's insane. It takes a long time to do things. I mean, it just takes a long time to do things. It takes a long time to do things. So yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying that like you can't do it like overnight instantation, but usually though when there's an overnight thing, it's a one-hit wonder type of thing. So, it's like, yeah, okay, you get like the whole like, you get the whole, it's great, you blew up, but for what, like one song that's gonna happen, one movie, one this, and never go anywhere ever again? Like I'm telling you, you know? I mean, that's the thing. I think, it's not that bad, but I'm just saying, like, that's what happens usually when, like, that kind of thing, you kind of end up with that, like, well, you're going to end up with the whole thing, like, well, you're only going to have one song, and it's like, so, but it just takes a long time to do things. I think it takes a long time to do things. Like my YouTube channel. I have 12 subscribers, and I've been doing this for, okay, I haven't been doing it consistently, but I've been doing it for almost a year now, and so it's like, oh my gosh. But I mean, every kid thinks he can do YouTube, and then does whatever he wants, and then it's like, well, you know, it's not that you can't, it's just, you have to really work at it too. And you can't just be the kid who does whatever he wants the whole time. Cause like I was saying, you have to start with doing whatever you want, and then you have someone go, I like this, just not what you're like, or I like you, but that's not what you're doing. And so you're like, well, I guess in theory, right? I have to ask you what to do, and then in practice, we'll like it'll come out as like something good, because if I ask you what to do, then you'll be like, I want to see this, and then when we do this, well, relative to if you can actually pull it off, but you do it, and then people go, okay, great, now we see what we actually want from this guy, and this guy's good, and then we follow and keep watching, and it goes good. So I guess in theory you could get a really good thing going, but like it takes a lot of time, and it's not even really effort necessarily, because you could be doing high quality stuff and people just don't care. You don't see it, they don't know it, nothing, none of that. And it's like, it's not bad, but it's like, it drives people like me nuts, where it's like, you work so hard on something and then nobody cares, but you're like, yes, but like the whole first little bits of things are, no one cares, like, it's like, no one cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares. It's like, well, yes, but if you understand that nobody cares, right, and you understand that and nobody cares at the beginning, and that eventually someone will care, and you will go somewhere, then you have to do, like, even if it's really high quality stuff, you still have, like, really high quality stuff, and you still know that, like, you know that they don't care, and you're like, whatever, I don't care, I'm gonna be, whatever, then yeah, I think you can go somewhere. But you really have to learn that, like, for the first little while, you're gonna go nowhere. And then you have to find the right people too, because you can't just go with the right thing, or expect the right thing to happen just because, like, oh yeah, whatever. But like, if you know the right people, it'll go like this. But also, don't expect just because you know the right people, you're gonna go everywhere. Like, it'll be like boom, I'm going everywhere. It'll be great. Like, oh, I know the right people, I'm gonna go everywhere. I'm gonna be the biggest thing. It's like, no. Stop. You just stop. You know what I mean? So, just, you have to have a little bit of both. You have to go, I have to know the right people, but I have to also take into consideration that just because I know the right people doesn't mean I'm going to get anywhere. You could be friends with, like, movie stars, and they can get you into everything, but you could still be literally nowhere. So, like, or publishers, or producers, or whatever. Just pick something, directors, whatever, pick something. And, just because you know those people does not mean that you're going to go somewhere in life. But not knowing someone doesn't mean that you're not going to get anywhere either. And not knowing someone doesn't mean that you're going to go somewhere. Like, I don't know. That's why independent things sometimes are like, hit or miss, But, I don't know. Like, not knowing someone doesn't mean you're not going to go anywhere. It just means that it might be a little bit harder, or it depends. If you're willing to do your own, like, I don't know, advertisement, publicity. Because that's the thing. You pay someone to do publicity, or what? Like, I don't know. I don't care, really, but I'm just like, my publicity is, I've got a live stream. Hey, I'm live on YouTube, and I'll post that on Instagram, and they'll be like, oh, okay, they'll see it, and they'll be like, oh, okay, I don't really care, and then they leave. And I'm like, which is stupid, because they'll see it, and they won't even check it out. They'll just be like, I don't care. I'm like, but why? But you see, whatever, I don't know. I'm not going to gripe about this stuff forever. Let's get on to different topics. So, I was listening to I was watching, actually, I was on Instagram, and I saw the thing that said, I don't know if you know the Instagram page where it's like, I was today years old when I learned that, pick one, right? Pick something, right? And then I saw one that said, I was today years old when I learned that Walt Disney put in his will, a thing saying a movie has to be remade every 10 years, so the next generation always sees something. Then I'm like, okay, so I left it for like about 6 months, and then I Googled it like, yesterday? And then I was like, oh, so there's really no, like, credibility behind this. And it's like, no. Because where I went to get the information, they were basically just like, okay, look, it was just a thing that somebody did, and there's really no credibility behind it. I mean, kind of, but not really. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of, but not really. I was like, kind of, but not really. But I was like, it doesn't really say that anywhere. And if you look at the information at the time when he died and when he read the will and when he did all this stuff, you'll see that like it doesn't really add up. Even if there's a sliver of credibility behind it, it just doesn't add up. So, it's like, dang it. That would have been a good story to tell people. Well, yeah, but what do you want? I was just kind of like, I don't. But when I learned that, I was like, dang it. But I was also like, I really don't care. But what do I care? Really, what do I care? But I was like, oh well. It's like the thing that you learn about. You're like, well, that's a bummer. But you don't really care. You're like, oh, okay, whatever. Life's life. What do I care? It's like, I guess, right? But like, I don't know. For some reason, I wanted it to be true. I don't know. It's like those things that you want to be true. You're like, oh, that's true, right? And I was like, no, not really. You're like, oh, really? Why? What the heck? It's like, oh well. What are you gonna do though? Like, yeah. What are you gonna do? So, yeah. I mean, yeah. I was also trying to read a bunch of like comics. So I looked at my comic collection. I have a very small comic collection. It's like maybe 30, maybe 40 comics, and I have the whole story arc with the entire story. I don't know where it is. I can't find it right now. But I have the whole story arc of Superman dying. And I don't know. That was a weird thing because I remember finding it as a kid and I'm like, wait, Superman dying? But apparently if you read on, he comes back and there's a whole story behind that. But like, I don't know. I don't want to get into that because I don't know much about it. I've just heard things about it, so I don't know much about it. I just know I read the first issue where he dies and I'm like, what? He kind of just kills him. Doomsday kind of just like murders him and it's like, wait, what? Because the thing that surprised me was there was no kryptonite involved at all, none, and there was nothing else involved in it. It was just he like basically like I think I'm not 100% sure because I don't remember, but I think he grabs him and does a arc and rips him in half like or breaks his spine like a stick, and I'm like, wait, what? I mean, that's just weird. I don't know. I don't know much about that. I didn't get in there, but I was getting into like other ones, like, because I have a few that are not superhero comics, and I'm like, let me read some of these, and then I remembered the website that I found about a year ago, and it was, or was it a year ago? I think so. Yeah, it was about a year ago, I think. It was Read Comics Online, and I was like, oh my god, and it has literally almost any comic you'll ever want to read, and it has so much of it, so I was like, oh. So I went to like find some other comics, because I didn't want superhero comics, so I knew that like, you'd be like thousands of issues in and be like, no thanks. But I did want to like read some of the other ones because like I found some of mine and I was like, because I have a Disney comic, I have a Dick Tracy comic, I have and I have like some other side. I have Voltron issue 1. I was like, I don't know if it's worth anything, but I looked it up once and it was like, I think it was like $5, between $5 and $10 or something like that. So I was like, oh, that's a bummer, but hey, I don't really care. But I mean, anyway, so I was looking for other comics to read, and I was like, oh, I have Archie's too, but I don't love Archie's. I was trying to find comics to read, and I was like, what do I read though? Like, I was trying to look up Mad Magazine, and they don't have any old magazine. They only have new ones. So I'm like, oh, and they don't. And then I was looking at like other stuff, and like, what else is there? And I looked at some of them, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of comic books. There's a lot of things out there like that though. So like movies, like you'll never watch every movie, but you'll never read every comic, but like obviously not, but which is why I want to find one that I really like and just like, and that's my thing too. I'm like, no, I'm gonna stick to this. I'm gonna read every one of them. It's like, oh, whatever, I don't care. Like I found Turok, right? And Turok is basically like, he's like a Native American, an Indian question. I don't really know exactly what he is. I think he's like a Native American. Right? And so like, and I found it, I was like, oh yeah, because I was watching someone and he likes it a lot, so I was like, okay, but, like a Native American, and it was like, oh, okay, cool, and then I looked, I'm like, oh, there's a new one, there's a 2019 one, and then I looked, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep up with this, and watch you, because that's the thing, you're able to keep up with it, if you keep up with it, if you actually read, like, every comic, every issue, like, every comic, every issue, right? You miss one comic, and the whole thing just blows up, because it's like books, right? It's like somebody was talking about how James Rolfe was talking about, because he did something on books, right, on Cinemassacre. He was doing like with like book reviews or whatever, and he was talking about scary books, right? And he talked about Goosebumps, and he said like it was great. He loved them. He kept up. It was great until they started making them faster than you could read them, and then it was like, no, I'm done. No, sorry, I'm done. That's out. I have nothing. There's nothing else you could like. I've lost it. You can't read them anymore. You can never catch up with this anymore. It was like me, right? It was like I was reading the Magic Treehouse as a kid, right? And then I remember one day they just started making, like, I stopped for a long time, like maybe 5 years, maybe, no, not 5 years, maybe like 2, 3 years. And then there was just more than you could, like, they were making more than you could read, catch up. They're like, oh, forget it, stop it, I'm done. I couldn't keep up with them anymore. I was like, oh, God, this is so much work. No, thanks. And then I kind of, also kind of weren't really into it anymore. So it's like, oh, whatever, I don't care. And it was like the Diary of Wimpy Kid books, right? I was reading them, and I was keeping up with them, and I was like, this is good. This is great. Until they started making them faster than you could read them, and there's like 4 now that I haven't read, and they're gonna make more. I'm like, look, I don't care anymore. I'm done. I'm out. I can't keep up with these. I'm done. That's a good book series, I have to say, to tell kids, because people always ask me, what's a good book series to read? And I'm like, I don't know. They're all kind of meh. They're all the same kind of meh. But I like Diary of a Wimpy Kid because it's not crazy, like, intense, but it's not, like, completely BS kids garbage, right? It's, like, right in the middle, where it's, like, it's a lot of garbage, but it's not too bad. It's like, oh, it's just kind of okay, you know? I mean, it's fine, I guess. I don't know. It's hearted humor, I guess. I don't know. The movies were okay until they got to the new one. What's the new one called? I don't remember. The new Diary of a Wimpy Kid is called... Let me see. No. What is... Oh. And it's not responding. Great. Anyway. It was called, anyway, because when they changed the actor, I was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. Because it was baloney. It was actual baloney. It was like, no, I'm done. Because the guy who was playing Greg was great. And Roderick and Rowley, and they're all great. But it was just like, oh my gosh. Nope, I'm good. It was crap. I'm like, oh, I watched it just to see if it was like... I didn't want to be one of those people who hated something, but never... Like the people who hate the Twilight series, but are like, have you actually read this? And they're like, no. And like, well, there you go. Have you watched the movies? Have you read the books? No. It's like, well, you can't complain about this. You can't complain about it. You can't complain. I'm sorry, you can't complain. It's like the people... The long haul. I hated the kid who played him. He looks like somebody I used to know, and I didn't like the kid, so... I don't know. I didn't like it. Anyway. Right? So I didn't want to be one of those people who were like, this is terrible. Did you watch it? No. It's like, oh, fine. You know? And they were like, well, you can't complain about it. It's like, yes, I can, technically. No? Like, no. What? I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and look, here's all the films, right? You got Diary of a Wimpy Kid, then you've got Roderick Rules, then you've got Dog Days, which is weird because they didn't do, I think it was, they missed a book between Roderick Rules and Dog Days, but whatever. Then they had The Long Haul, right? And now there's apparently some of these other ones. There's one called Diary of a Wimpy Kid Class Clown, which is a short film. And then there's a Cabin Fever adaptation to be adapted television series. There's supposed to be television series? What? No, there isn't. Films, there you go. What, there's apparently a television series? Crew... References, I'm gonna go back. What's television series? With an adaptation? Television in August 2018. See, 20th Century Fox, Stacy Sender Snyder, announced that a television series based on the Cabin Fever Kids is currently being developed. With the upcoming acquisition by Disney, it is possible that it will appear on one of the later services. So it's going to be on the Disney Plus streaming service, probably. Okay, that makes sense. Or on Fox? Is Fox making one, or is it just Disney bought them out, so what's the point? I guess, I don't know, but I don't really care. Maybe I just see it just to see if it's any good, but... Potential Diamond Kid Cabin Fever adaptation. In December 2012, Jeff Kenney announced that he was working on an animated adaptation of Cabin Fever to air around Christmas 2013. The adaptation would explain how Manny managed to redirect the power for all to his room and no one else's. In August 2013, Kenney stated it would be a half-hour television special and would air on Fox in late 2014. The film was teased with the conclusion of the 2012 animated short film Diary of a Kid Class Clown, which ended with a scene adapted from the Cabin Fever book. As of 2019, no update on the project has been announced lately. What? Wait, let me look this up now. Now I'm curious about what this stuff is. What is this? Diary of a Kid? Why am I so into Diary of a Kid right now? Well, I'm into it because... you suck. I'm into it because I'm just like, wow, okay. I don't know, cause I like this kid, I just googled it for just some stuff. But like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's cause it's one of those things where, like, cause I was watching, Pat the NES Punk completely unnecessary. I was watching the podcast, Pat the NES Punk, his podcast, right? And Ian was talking about how he went to see the, well, this is really old now, it was like 2015, but he went to go see the he went to go see the Peanuts movie, right? And he's like, there were certain parts, like, if they screwed this up, I would have, like, I would have lost it, right? And so, like, this is one of the things I'm like, I don't care as much as he does, obviously, but I do have this, like, but if they screw this up, it's gonna ruin my childhood. What the heck? What is this? It's like, oh, like when I saw the new game, I'm like, oh, or the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is bad. This is so.
So last year, my best friend Ravely Jefferson got voted class clown for my grade.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't think they can take another vote or do a recount or whatever. I totally got robbed on that.
Wait, what?
Everyone knows I'm the funniest kid in school. Even my teachers would tell you that.
Wait, isn't this just from the
That was all me.
Isn't this just from the...
At least most of my teachers would. A couple of them don't seem to appreciate my sense of humor.
Isn't this from one of the other movies?
Can you please come to the front of the room?
Wait. Isn't this supposed to be just from... Isn't this just from... Isn't it going to subscribe if you play... Wow, isn't this from a different movie? Isn't this from a different movie? I don't know. Anyway, isn't this just from a different movie?
The problem.
Yo, mama.
Excuse me?
Yo, slap happy grandpappy.
Well, I hardly think that.
Yo, big fanny grandmammy.
What? It's that whole, like... It's innocent childhood, like, kid stuff, but it's not total crap.
Maybe I'm just not on the same wavelength as the grown-ups.
Get your butt.
Isn't this just from something else? I don't know. I don't remember anymore. I don't really care, let's be honest. Let's go back to Wikipedia. So there was 2017. The long haul was 2017. Jeez Louise. It feels like yesterday I was watching and going, oh my god, really? This is so stupid. But I mean, what do you want? I don't really care. It was a good book series, from what I've read, but I don't know much about the movie series, if they're going to go anywhere, really. Let's be honest. Well, just be...
World
Well, because I'm like, I don't... Because... I don't know, because kids don't really care anymore, you know? I think I asked somebody that, I was like, that time, and I was like, do you, like, would you even... I was like, no, I don't give a hoot. It's like, of course you don't give a hoot. Nobody really cares about that series anymore. I don't know. It's like certain books where you're like, what? That's still a thing? That's still relevant? People still read that? Like Magic School, or like Magic Treehouse, the one that survived was Captain Underpants. I was like, that's still a thing? Or The Day My Butt Went Psycho. That was a freaking stupid thing. They made a TV series about that. That was the weirdest thing. I'm like, what? Because basically what it is, well, in the book, it's more of like an actual, like, they went psycho, but in the TV show, it's literally just butts walking around, and I'm like, what is this? Why? Even when I watched it as a kid, like, I was like, wait, I was like, what, 14, 15? I was like, this is so stupid. But I watched a few episodes just so I didn't be that kid who was like, oh, this is stupid. Did you watch it? No. Of course not. But, you know, and you can't say it's bad, you know. So I watched a few of them. And I'm like, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched. I've definitely watched the worst. But there's something about it that's like, this is total... Like, I knew it was garbage, but I was like, I don't know. But I watched a lot of shows that were just pure and utter garbage. So, just pure and utter garbage. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I look at some of the shows I watched as a kid and I went, I watched this? What the heck? How? This is pure... And it wasn't all garbage, but it was a lot of it was like, this isn't very good. Some of it was just because it didn't age well. Like, it comes off as really either childish or like stupid or just plain dumb. Other times it was just because the show was terrible. The show was like legit terrible. Like, it was bad. Like, some of them were just bad. And I'm like, oh gosh. Other ones were like, if you get past my, like, if I get past my nostalgia for it, I'm like, it was okay. It wasn't that great. It was, Because that's the thing. I find that too many people look at things like TV shows and movies and stuff, and they look at the nostalgia and they go, it was a great show. And you're like, no, it wasn't. You're just looking at your nostalgia for it and saying it was great, you know? Like, there's one show called Almost Naked Animals, and I'm like, this is so stupid, because it's literally animals in, like, underpants. And I'm like, what, why is this a thing? Why? Because but again, I was also that kid who never wanted to turn the TV off, so it didn't matter what was on TV, I would just, like, end up watching the stupid shit, and I'd be like, oh, stupid garbage, and I'd be like, but this is so dumb, but I'd be like, but I'm addicted, I need to keep watching this, you know, like, because there's something about these things, it's almost like a Las Vegas casino, and how they make them specifically so you never leave, or you never actually realize that you have a life, and you need to actually be doing something productive, you know? So they get the kids with that whole, like, they make it so that it doesn't seem like you ever have anything productive to do with your life. You're like, oh, whatever, it's good. Like, because my friend would say that his dad used to know exactly when to turn off the TV on a Saturday morning when He-Man came on, because they hated He-Man. I was like, okay, He-Man's not that bad. But I've never seen an episode, but I know it's not that bad. But anyway, like, he'd know. He'd be like, okay, He-Man comes on, time to get out. And that would be, you know, and also it'd be like 12 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock, maybe even like later, maybe 1, and then be like, hey, and all the friends would go outside and they'd play. Because they'd realize, okay, great, and then they'd play. I never had that really, and so I could watch, like, me and my friend, we would watch from, like, well, we were homeschooled, and so there were certain days when we didn't do anything, and we literally would just watch for hours. Like, we'd go, because he had it in his basement, so he would tell me stuff like, I'd go down to my basement, from 7, and I'd come out at like 4:30, and I'd just come up, and I'd be like, wow. Because that's the thing, too, he had a bathroom in his basement, he just sat on his TV and watched TV all day. Like, I did the same thing, I would go, and I'd watch TV, and then I'd come out at like 4:30, and I'd be like, oh, like, nowadays, I'd look back and I'd be like, what? You did what? How much of this? And that's the thing, too, like, certain channels I used to watch, they would loop things a lot. And so, like, they just like, oh, I saw that like at 9 o'clock, or it'd be the same show but a different episode or something, or it'd be the same show, exact same episode, and I'd be like, but it'd be like I'd be watching for so long that by the time I see it the second time that day, it would be so long far from the first time I saw it that I'd be like, you know what, I'll watch it again, and I'd be like, wow, like I don't know, I just watched too much TV as a kid. There's so many bad shows, and then there's so many shows that I was like, or movies that I'd be like, I never watched that, why? And I'd be like, because. Like my other friend, like another friend I have, he gets that all the time because he works at somewhere, a big movie producing studio place, but right. Well, he does a video game section, but anyway, and he says like all like there's like people who are like, you've never seen that movie, and he'd be like, no, like to me, like, you've never seen that movie, and I'd be like, no. Because my brother was saying something like, my brother was talking to one of his friends, and he's talking, because there's 3 people in a group right now, and they're talking about movies and TV shows, and then the one friend goes, I don't remember what movie it was, don't even ask me, you've never seen that movie? And he was like, no. And then he goes, yeah, but you've never seen The Office. And then the third friend goes, well, he does have a point there. And then the first friend goes, yeah, but I don't have, like, a movie is like 2 hours of my life. I don't have, like, the next 6 months to watch the whole series of The Office. And then the third friend goes back to my brother and goes, he has a point there, And he's like, and my brother just is like, he just ended the conversation right there. He's like, no, I'm done. So I'd be like, yeah, there's so many of those movies that I've never seen that people go, or TV shows. Like, how have you never seen that? And I'd be like, because I just don't care. And they'd be like, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. And you've never been in that circumstance to watch it. Like, somebody, not last summer, the summer before that, 2017, not forced me, but I don't know how we got onto this, but she was like, we were talking about something. I don't know what the heck we were talking about. And it was about, I want to say like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. There's about like 9 or 10, maybe 12 people. We're all, I think we're sitting at a table and we're all talking about like movie or things to do. And then we're like, let's watch a movie, right? And we're like, what movie, where, what? And then she goes, we're watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And she got me to watch that movie. And we're all like, okay. Like, we didn't question any of it. We're like, okay. And then we watched it and it was like, because it's her favorite movie. And I'm like, wow. I was like, wow. I was like, because it would have been a movie I would never, ever, ever have watched. I would never have watched. Yeah, it would have been a movie I would never have seen. Because I would have been like, and it's such a popular movie. Everyone always talks about that movie. So I would have just been sitting in that same group of people. Right? And then be like, ooh, it would have been like, you have to see this movie. But, because that's the thing. Nobody ever did that. Nobody was ever like, nope, we're watching this now. Like, now. And I'm like, no. They're just like, you have to see this movie. And then they'd stop and they'd be like, okay. Like, great. I'm never going to see it. And he's like, that's the thing. I want friends that go, you've never seen that movie? We're watching that right now. It doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter when I'm talking to them. It doesn't matter how, who, when, where they are, how to watch it. If it's some weird thing we have to watch in some back-ass way, we're watching it. Like, I want one of those friends. Because she did that. She's literally like, because we all went, I think every single one of us went, I've never seen that movie. And then it was like, we're watching that right now. I'm like, okay. Okay. Hey. Because it was one of the movies like, I thought for a moment, I was like, do I want to watch it? And I'm like, no, I'm going to watch this because you're going to end up at that point where you're like, where you have no opportunity, like you have no ways of watching it. Like, and I was like, it's in front of me right now. Do I really care? No, I'm going to watch it. If I really cared, I would have been like, no, I'm not watching this. I hate this. No thanks. But of course I did. So I do. And it is now my second favorite movie ever. For some reason, I can't make it my first. There's something something about it. It's just like I can't make it my favorite movie. I don't know why. There's something about it that's just like I don't know, because Monty Python and the Holy Grail is it, right? And it's like I don't know, but because Back to the Future Part 1 is my favorite movie, but Monty Python and the Holy Grail is my second favorite movie, right? And so it's like, ooh, it's like I don't know, something about it. Like I can't, I just can't do it. Like I don't know, something I don't know. I even put it on my PSP. I love it so much. It's such a good movie because like it's one of those movies that works really well. Like the jokes work well and the movie works well, and it doesn't like. You can watch it and not be like, oh, this is so dated, you know? Like, that's the thing, right? That's the problem with a lot of movies. They end up, like, dated. And the jokes end up, like, sitting in, like, certain times, like, I don't know. Something about it just... I don't know. Something about it was, like... Yeah. I don't know, something about some movies just, I don't know, they don't age well. I don't know. But, hey, what are you gonna do? Like, they omitted the Jitterbug dance from, the, Wizard of Oz because they were like, that's gonna date the movie really bad. It's like, oh, the movie's already dated. What are you talking about? What the heck are you talking about? It's already dated. It's like, okay, whatever. But, you know. So yeah, that would have been a movie I would never watch. Like, there's so many movies where, like, movies are those things where it's very much that if it's offered in front of me, if it's placed in front of me, usually I'll sit and watch it. I'll be like, fine, I'll watch it. Like, right? But I will not actively go out and it's like, oh, I need to watch this movie now. You know, no. So, it's like breakfast, right? I hate eating breakfast, right? There's something about it, like, it's goopy, it's gucky, it's like, ugh. I'm not ready to eat at that time of the day. Anyway. But if it's placed, like, literally in front of me, and it's something I'll eat, like, I don't hate, I'll be like, you know what, fine, I'll watch it. Or I'll eat it. And I'm like, I'll eat it. Like, I think it's a thing, right? The same summer camp, last summer, 2018, I didn't eat a single, like, I wouldn't eat breakfast, and one of the girls would be like, you have to eat breakfast, and I'd be like, nope, I'm good. She'd be like, eat breakfast, most important meal of the day, and I'm like, that's not 100% fact. That's not 100%, that's not 100% scientific, that's not fact, you know, and it's like, yeah, it is, everybody knows that, it's not 100% fact, and she's like, well, anyway, it's still good to eat breakfast. I'm like, don't care, so, I'm not a breakfast person. That's the thing. But you know what? Wow. You want to know the reason why I don't eat breakfast? It's usually something I don't want. Like, especially at the summer camp I was going to. Forget it. Forget it. Because it was like 3 out of 5 days, it would be eggs that were rubber. And the other 2 days would be like pancakes. And I hate pancakes. They're just nasty. They're like bread. They're like fluffy bread cake things that just, they're not good. I don't like them. Waffles I can manage, because for some reason waffles are more like toast, and I like that a bit better. But pancakes I can't do. So, and then the one day when it's sausages, I just walk in when I grab a sausage off a plate and I leave, you know, a breakfast sausage. I don't ever really care to sit and eat sauce. Like, I'm not a cereal guy, really. Because cereals are always crap, you know. They were always crap. But hey. Like, because they're always, like, on sugar. Like, they were, like, Cheerios. Like, you look at the Cheerios bowl, like, and you'd be like, that's Honey Nut Cheerios, right? And you look, nope, that's plain Cheerios. Damn it. Or Frosted Flakes, you'd be like, that's Frosted. Nope, that's Cornflakes. Oh, that's whatever. Because the thing that happens there is you'll have a good cereal, like, once for, like, the first maybe 2 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks at best. But then they're like done. Like, or they'll have like one supply and they'll reorder it like once, right? So like I think it was the first 2 years ago. I think it was Fruit Loops, and so they had Fruit Loops, right? And the Fruit Loops lasted fairly long, and then it's just like they just don't care after a while. They're like, no, I don't care. Like, they don't care to You know, they're like, I don't care. You know, you got your whatever 2 weeks of stuff. It's whatever. So you don't. You got your time of your Fruit Loops, and there you go. Like I'm not buying. Like I don't care to buy you anymore. It's like, but last year they managed to keep it pretty good. They managed to keep it was Vector, and they managed to get Vector the entire, well, not the entire summer, but very close to the entire summer. I was like, this is great. This is really good. So I did have something some days, right? But I just don't eat breakfast because and that's not because I was talking to the other guy because the guy at my boss didn't eat breakfast either, and I was like, whatever. But he goes, but I usually eat breakfast like at home because I make my own breakfast. I'm like, I don't even do that because I'm like, I don't even do that. I don't even eat breakfast. Like I'll eat breakfast like once a month because I'll be like, I feel like making waffles, and I'll make them, or I'll make like something or whatever, and you know, whatever. I'll eat something earlier in the morning, but like, I'm not a breakfast person, so that's just not me. So like, it's the same as like the movie thing where like, unless it's placed in like physically placed in front of me and it's something I don't hate, I'll watch it. So, right? But also, but with TV shows, I feel like if I like, I feel like I get gypped. Like I feel like I'm like, not gypped, but like I feel like it's a waste if I just watch like one episode or something and then like never watch more. Cause I'm like, well, there was no point in watching that. Like, I would not be wrong. There are amazing movies and TV shows. I just don't care. I'm like, I don't care to find these movies and TV shows. I just don't care. It's like the whole, what's the place in front of me? I don't seek them out. Like, it's like breakfast. I don't go and get breakfast ever. But if someone puts in front of me a plate of eggs, bacon, sausages, waffles, toast, cereal, I'll be like, okay, fine. I'll eat it. But, like, I'm not gonna go seek out breakfast, never. So, it's also like video games. There's also so many video games I've never played, and people are like, how have you never played that? I'm like, well, 1, I don't have it. 2, it's expensive if I want to get it. 3, I really don't care. 4, it's like, I don't, I don't care. I really don't care. Because I don't care because there's series where it's like, I don't have the system for it either. So I'm like, whatever. Like I've never played so many. Like I've never played. Let me see. What are the ones I've never played? I've never played. Some of the Mario games. Like I've never played Mario Sunshine. And people are like, how have you never played that? I'm like, well, I don't care. You know, I don't really care. I've never played the Kingdom Hearts series. I started playing Kingdom Hearts 1, and then got to, like, somewhere I put it down. And that's the other thing. If I'm, like, playing a game, and if I put it down even once, I'll just end up never coming back, really never coming back to it. It's like a book. I'll start reading a book, and then I'll get to, like if I put it down once, because I lose enthusiasm at that point. Like, I just get, right? If I put it down once, I just lose enthusiasm. I'm like, I don't care. Like, and then I pick it up again, and I'm like, I really don't care. But, because I was talking to my friend, and he was like, yeah, that's the thing, too. If you put it down, I just, like, you end up, like, because you'll never pick it up again, because you lost all interest in that thing. You're like, I don't care. You're like, and then you start another book, and then you stop, and then when you come back to it, right? If you really do have enthusiasm for it, you'll be like, what happened? And you go back, like, maybe a chapter, and you'll be like, and then you just go, I have to go back another chapter, and then you just go back, basically, you just start the book over, because you're like, and then you get this loop of, like, of only reading, like, the first, like, 3 chapters of the book, because you, like, keep putting it down, and, like, never finishing it. It's like, I was reading last year, the Back to the Future book, the novelization of the movie, but this is the 3rd one. So I was like, I don't care. But I mean, it's not that bad, but it's good, I guess. But I was reading it, and I was like, no, you have to consistently read every single night. And I did. And I finished it. And I was so happy because I was like, I finally finished this thing. You know, I was like, this is great. So now I'm trying to read the novelization of E.T. there's apparently a whole nother world of like these novelization books, novelizations of movies, and I'm like, what? This is a thing? This is great. Yeah, there are apparently a lot of them. Well, yeah. I mean, these aren't books turned into movies. These are movies novelizations. They're turned into books, which is like, wow, this is a thing. I never knew that. I never knew that. So I was like, wow. So, but I mean, hey, interesting, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so it's like comic books, or where like you'll never read all the comic books. Like this, you never keep up with it. Like, or you might, but you're never going to be able to keep up. Well, it's like mangas, right? My friend wanted to be like, 'cause he wanted to do like the manga review stuff, right? And I was like, or not anime, anime review stuff. And then I made the point. I'm like, you're going to have to go through like a thousand of those animes that have like 3 episodes and they all suck, but you still have to review them because like you have to go through the ones like because there's one called, well, it's called Young Saint Men or Young Saint Boys, Young Men Saints or Young Saint Men, and it's basically, well, the manga's called Jesus and Buddha on Vacation, right? So it's basically just Jesus and Buddha, and they like live life together. Well, I guess they're on vacation. I don't know. The anime is a little bit different, but anyway, and they only have like 3 episodes, and they kind of are terrible. Let's be honest here. But right, I said to them, you have to read like or watch like 1,000 of those like animes with like 3 episodes. They suck, but you still have to watch them, and then you have to go through like the maybe 100 or maybe like 50 of those like those One Piece that all have like 600 episodes and like will take the rest of your life to watch. And that's the thing too, you can't watch a few and then review them. They're gonna make you watch like literally every single episode, because they have to make sure that you know a clear and concise, like, oh, so you get like the whole thing. You think like you'll end up with the like Naruto's, like the Naruto's and the Dragon Ball Z's too, where it's like there's so many. First of all, there's so many episodes of that show. Then there's so many episodes of like. Then there's the next thing that comes on. So many episodes of that one. Like there's Naruto, and there's Naruto Shippuden, then there's Naruto Young Naruto, then there's Naruto this, Naruto that, then there's Dragon Ball, then there's Dragon Ball Z, then there's Dragon Ball Z X3, and then there's Dragon Ball Z Blades of Steel, and there's Dragon Ball Z Extreme, whatever. There's so many of them. Like if you go to My Anime, oh wait, it's called My Anime List, right? I have that around here. I put it back. Let me see. Because I think it's called My Anime List. Anyway, website, right? And it's like it'll tell you, right? My Anime List. There you go. No. Anyway, there's just I don't care anymore. Right? So let's look at the My Anime List, and we'll go to blah blah blah. Animes. Seasonal animes. Top animes, maybe? Okay, wow, okay. Let's see. Well, let's go to just anime list. Action, drama, oh my gosh, there's so many. Wow. But, top animes. Let's just go top animes. Right, look, you're looking at the animes and there's so many of them. It's ridiculous. Right, so like, oh my god. Where is it? Oh, I haven't got anything I even know yet. Come on. Right, and then there's like the Pokemons that like have like 1,000 of. Let me Google this. Let me Google. Let me Google it right now. Let me Google. How many episodes of Pokemon are there? Yes, I know there's like 7 billion seasons of the show. 10 episodes are in total. There you go. Oh my gosh! How many episodes is there? Quora. Oh my gosh! Look at this. Look. Look. What? What is it? What? Okay, anyway. Look. You go. No, okay. Look. How many episodes of Pokemon have? How many episodes does Pokemon have? Just from Quora. At the time of writing this, 18th of August 2016, there are 1,073 episodes across 19 seasons, starting from 1996. They are still releasing new episodes every week, and they will probably continue to do so till 2020. That's insane. That is 1,073. Oh my god, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. Anyway, like, you'll get that, you'll have those things too, where like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like all those ones where they're still making episodes for them, and you're like, oh my god, like, you have to go like, oh no, you're like, you have to watch stuff like that, like, which is why that job, unless he's willing to do all that, he's never going to be able to do the job. Never. No. Because he goes, he looks at me and he gives me this look, like, and then he says, I think he says something like, the friend who's like, I might do that for a living, was like, you make a good point there. And he goes, you make a pretty good point there, I'm like, yeah, I do. The whole thing of like, you'll end up with like 50 with like 500 to like 1,000 or a couple thousand episodes, and like, oh my gosh. Right? Oh, they're Hero Academia. Now I found something I've heard of. Right? And then you'll have like 1,000 of those shows that have like 3 episodes and they all suck, but you have to still watch them because it's like, it just makes you watch them because like that's your job now, There we go, Dragon Ball Z. There we go. Let's see how many episodes that show has. One Piece has how many? See, look, One Piece isn't horrible. One Piece is close up there, though, with Pokemon. It's 800, and as of April 8th, 2018, there were 833. 831. Jeez Louise. Now we'll go to Dragon Ball Z. How many episodes of Dragon Ball Z? Oh, only 200 and something, okay. It's not that, but like, Dragon Ball Z, there's like 7 different series, franchises. Unable to, Well, but then you get the ones where like there's like this one and that one and too many different things spin off Naruto. Right, there you go. Oh, that's not bad. 220 episodes. That's not bad. But again, that has the Naruto Shippuden, which has 500 episodes in total. This series finished airing on 3rd of March 2013. You can stream and watch anime on Anime Planet or other... Anyway. You end up with that thing, and like that's why I don't think he would be able to do that, or anybody would be able to do that, really. It's like the movie guys. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. You what's it called? They're like animals. They're like monsters, those people who watch all those movies or TV shows, like the movie reviewers. Like, oh my god, it's insane. It's just insane. I don't know his name, guy, but I have a book, one of those movie books. And I was like, that's insane. How do you? Oh my god, that's ridiculous. And that's the thing. You almost get saturated with like the first few were great because you actually got entertainment out of them. But by the 1,000th movie or the 1,000th episode or something you've watched, you're just like, I don't even care. This is like whatever. Oh, it's fine. It's like a 3. I don't care. It's like an average. I don't care. And then you also see like a lot of repetitive stuff, and especially in anime, you'll be like, oh, I've seen this exact, and it'll be like and if it's made by the same kind of people or the same studio or the same artist, you'll be like, I've seen that exact same frame like 8 times already, or I've seen that whole similar scene like 4 times. You'd be like, it'll all just get jumbled in your brain, and that's why I feel like it wouldn't be that great. But hey, what are you gonna do? I mean, I don't really care mean, that's my thing, right? I don't really care. It's okay, but I don't know. I think Fred also just looks at things that would be good, and you're like, yeah, but you don't look at like the actual what it takes to do that kind of thing. Like he's like me, where I'm like, he's very much like me in terms of, hey, I would just look up something and be like, oh, it's really not that hard. How hard does it take? Yeah. So like, that's why I don't think he would be able to do that. But he's like me. He'd look at something and go, oh yeah, it's probably not that hard. And then you're like, oh damn, it's a lot harder than you think. So, because that's the thing. We want jobs that we like and aren't impossible. So we're like, let's look at these, and that term, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's a lot harder than you think. Like I looked up, if you want to be an animator or a cartoonist, something like that in that realm, or cartoonist or that in that realm, and it's like, oh boy, it's a lot harder than you think. Because you have to do all these prerequisites, right? Of like, you have to have this, and you have to, which in theory don't sound like they have anything to do with them, but then you look at like, oh, like you look into it and you're like, oh, cause I looked into it, I was like, oh, that makes more sense. Like, you have to have like some kind of mathematics skills and some kind of like, it's weird, because you have to have like different prerequisites where it's like, oh, okay, like, so you have to have all these prerequisites that are like, they don't sound like they go with them, but then you look and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, you have to have this, that, and the other thing. You have to have a degree in that. Which is like, I'm like, why can't I just go for that? What the heck? It's like, well, because that's how life works. You're never just able to do some one thing. It's like, oh, that's stupid. Like, some of them make sense. Like, if you want to be an engineer, you need to have prerequisites in math, right? So you have to have high math. It's like, okay, that makes sense. But for some other ones, you're like, what? I need to have what? With what? It's like, oh. And then you look, because you have to do your research. If you do your research, you know what you're getting into. But because you don't know do your research, like a lot of people don't do their research, it's like, it's stupid. Like, they just think, oh, whatever, and then whatever. It's like, okay, the one thing that's the most useless thing ever is pure and applied science, because everyone thinks they need it for science, or to do stuff, and it's like, you don't need this. I think it's pure and applied anyway. Because my dad would, because dad was a teacher, right? And he would always get students come back to him going, yeah, that was so useless. That was so useless. I didn't need that. It's like, and because you'd have to explain to them, know what you're going into, right? And because he'd be like, sure, you want that. It's like, yeah. Or they'd be told the stupid things from the wrong kind of people, and they'd be like, no, you need this thing. You need to go into this whatever. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't need any of these classes. You don't need any of this. You don't need any of this field or anything. Any of this. And it's like, oh, some of them. Other ones you need. So it's like so many people were like, I never use any of the things I learned. It's like, well, of course not. But you need to take that stupid class. Just like my friend, he was doing a Greek mythology, and he's like, this is so like well, we have something called a CJUP here in Canada. So it's like, but we're CJUP in Quebec, right? And so we're like, he was like, he's doing, because he needs to have some kind of, what's the one I'm looking for? I don't remember what it's called, but he needs to have almost like a elective, almost an elective, but not really. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, and so he's doing, what's it called? He's doing, I just said it, Greek mythology. And he's like, it's kind of stupid. It's just dumb. I don't need, like, this is dumb, useless to me, but I need to take it for credit. It's like, of course you do. Because he's like, well, the other ones would have been Japanese history or Beatles song. It was either song history or the Beatles history, something. I'm like, you know how long that would, you know how useless that would be? It would be useless because you'd go through so many Beatles songs and just be like, oh my god. Or you wouldn't do anything that you'd want to do. But, yeah, I know. He's like, yeah, I know. I picked the one that sounded easy, that was good, and I had an interest in it. Like, it's not bad. It's like, I know, but like, I don't know. So, that's the thing. So, I don't know necessarily, like, because he's like, it's useless to me, but I need it for, easy things. Like, okay, you know what? It's good enough, I guess. I don't know. So, you know what I mean? So, what are you going to do? It's like, yeah, I know. But, hey, what are you going to do? You need that kind of garbage. So. I mean, hey, what do you want? It's not, you need to do these things in life. You need to do the stuff that's baloney, you know? Like, somebody asked him, how do you get anywhere? Somebody asked some, I was watching, I don't remember what the context was, but he was asking a question to someone, and he goes, what do you need to do to be successful? And he goes, or successful, and he goes, you need to do the absolute crud jobs, and then you'll be good. It's like, okay, well, see you guys. Adios, muchachos.